This morning, Rob.
Yeah, and it's going to stay very busy for several more hours. Hopefully that main energy will get weaker as it moves east. Haven't seen a whole lot of weakening yet, but I am encouraged that we've got many fewer polygons now than we had even just a little while ago. The radar is still very active. A lot of what we see from Bainbridge and east is much lighter activity breaking out well ahead of the main line of energy, which is still back over parts of Bay and Jackson counties. Now, I do see some decent showers in northern parts of Grady and Thomas right now, up Highway 319 and up Highway 19. Both are going to be some areas that are getting some of those more moderate showers. A little bit of activity on Highway 27 south of Bainbridge, and we're seeing one little cell move into parts of western Leon County, trying to get to the city of Tallahassee right now, where we might notice a couple of more moderate rains. But this is not the main stuff that's off to the west, where we currently have one large severe thunderstorm warning box. And the reason for the severe thunderstorm warning is for wind gusts that could get up over 60 miles per hour and some of the hail that has been reported early this morning. I don't see anything rotating over here yet, but there's been a history and several tornado warnings with this same line and same piece of energy, so that could absolutely continue happening, and that's why we've got the tornado watch for the western half of our area, and that looks like it's going to continue until 8 o'clock. I wouldn't be surprised at all if that gets extended farther east for a little bit later on this morning. So lots of active weather continues. Most of what we're finding in Thomas and Grady and Leon and Wakulla County now, much lighter stuff that's still 40 miles or so ahead of that main energy that's been moving really slowly. The main batch, parent low that has been helping to push this all along, is way off to the north. But as this very slow and methodical movement to the east continues, only about 15 or 20 miles per hour, it has been doing some number on much of the south, and that's likely going to continue for the next several hours. So, I mean, just using some simple math, if it's still 40 miles to our west and only moving about 20 miles per hour, so that means it's going to be another couple hours before that main energy gets into the middle of our viewing area, and then another couple of hours before it gets to the eastern parts of our viewing area. So probably from now through lunchtime, we're going to continue dealing with this. Hopefully it'll speed up a little bit, and hopefully it'll weaken a little tiny bit. But we're starting to see some of those showers break out ahead of the main batch, and that's what a lot of what we're going to deal with early this morning is. So for those morning commutes, if you're going east, you got some time to get out ahead of the storms. If you're going west, that's where you're driving into the main energy, and maybe you want to hold that off until after that energy passes. Now here's what it looks like close up, and we can definitely see some of our spots getting more and more wet, but also notice it's a lot of green colors, not yellows and reds. That's an encouraging sign that the weaker stuff is what we're getting now, and hopefully that can cool and stabilize the air a little bit and make it more difficult for the bigger storms to develop, like we saw overnight and of course last night with all of those warnings off to the west. That little batch that I'm seeing move through central parts of Leon County now, well ahead of the main energy, that's a pretty good downpour, but that's nothing compared to some of the activity farther off to the west. From Camilla to Moultrie, north of Thomasville, north of Cairo, some decent showers coming down now too. Here's the future cast. What I like about this is it usually times out the storms very well, but it also usually overcooks the intensity a little bit. So don't get hung up on the colors as much as maybe how long it's going to take for those colors to move through where you are. I think for a lot of us, 8, 9, 10 o'clock, that's the window from Gadsden County to Leon County to Jefferson County, and then a little bit later than that to farther east you are. So the next 2, 3, 4 hours, still going to be very active. Once we get past that, there's encouraging news for tomorrow and even for Saturday for all the springtime plans. Now, I still think there can be showers Saturday, but it doesn't look as soggy now as it was looking yesterday. Hopefully it'll keep improving. First things first, though, busy weather this morning, at least through lunchtime. Hang in there, my friends.